It is draft week, ladies and gentlemen. Washington Commanders Nation. We are 3 days away from the NFL draft, and our latest Commanders chatter is that Washington could be interested in a successor to Bobby Wagner and interested in UCLA linebacker Carson Schwesinger. Let's talk about it. Ladies and gentlemen, we are 3 days away from the 2025 NFL draft, where our Washington Commanders sit with the 29th pick, and we have mock drafted ad nauseum at this point. We've picked every position. We've went through about every scenario that exists so far. And guess what? We're going to continue to do so as we count down these last 72 hours before the NFL draft. In a scenario I have not seen Washington take yet, Adam Schefter comes out and says today that he could see Washington or Buffalo at 29 or 30 drafting UCLA linebacker Carson Schwesinger. We know for weeks now the two UCLA linebackers, one of them is a linebacker turned edge in Femi Oladejo, but him and Carson Schwesinger, they've been rising up boards for weeks now. I've been hearing buzz about these names, and as we grow 3 days before the draft, guys start telling truths in the final days and waning moments before the NFL draft. And now that we've gotten here, all of a sudden, everybody's coming out and saying, this may be the best pure linebacker, middle linebacker in the entire class, considering Jihad Campbell has a lot of edge rush to his game, and Jalen Walker is a tweener, two tweener guys that sit over him. They said there's a lot of teams that feel like this is the best linebacker in the class. Production-wise, it scares me a little bit because he's one of those one-year wonders. He's a redshirt junior. He did not start his first 2 years of eligibility, but this year he went crazy. He was an All-American. His 2024 resume, first team AP All-American, first team All Big Ten Conference, finalist for the Butkus Award, which is the nation's top linebacker, led the nation with 90 solo tackles and was third in the nation with 136 total tackles. Team captain. Put that shit in all caps, because you know when it comes to that commander tag between Adam Peters, Lance Newmark, and Dan Quinn, they're looking for team captains. They're looking for run stoppers. They're looking for high motor, high energy, high character players. He started all 12 games with 10 start. He played in all 12 games this year. Started 10 of them. 8.5 tackles for loss, 4 sacks, 2 interceptions, 3 pass breakups, and a forced fumble. He is tremendous against the run, and he's very good against the pass. This is your prototypical middle linebacker. This is your prototypical Mike-type linebacker, and he would be the successor here for Hall of Famer Bobby Wagner when he steps down a year from now. I don't think we're seeing too much more Bobby. I think he's finishing up his Howard degree, and I think he's ready to kick the can and boogie after this season. But the 1 year of production is something I would hesitate on, but hey, at least he has a year of production. I'm looking at guys like Shamar Stewart, who has played the significant amount of snaps in their 3-year career and hasn't put production on the field. I'm not going to get mad at a guy for producing for 1 year, because some of these guys in the NFL draft are pure projection players. You are projecting what they can be because you have not really seen the production in college so far. So I'm not going to knock him for that. In 2023, he played in all 13 games, but as a reserve and only on special teams. So he has special teams versatility as well. 12 tackles, 2 tackles for loss with 1 sack. 2022, played in all 13 games as a reserve. Similar stats and on special teams. 15 tackles, a half a tackle for loss, received the scholarship before the season, and he redshirted back in 2021. So 22-year-old linebacker, 6'2.5", 242, phenomenal All-American final year in college. Before that, didn't play a lot. So you can look at it one of two ways. You can say he lacks the production, or you can say the best football of Carson Schwesinger's career is still in front of him. and he did not peak in college. He's just now getting going. So this would be a best player available type thing. If I don't see middle linebacker being a high need for us, but if they feel like he's the best player on their board when we get to 29, go for it. I just think we can do better than that, but I would not be mad. I wouldn't hate the pick. I wouldn't despise the pick at all. I wouldn't walk out the house like I did when we drafted Emmanuel Forbes type shit. I'm trusting the process. So whatever Adam Peters and company decide to do, I'm going to embrace it, and I'm going to be championing that player by midnight on April 25th and getting ready for day 2 of the NFL draft. These UCLA boys been rising, man. I've heard people talk about Oladejo at 29 for us. I'm not sure Oladejo is a first-round pick, but just like Carson Schwesinger, his best football is ahead of him. He just started playing edge this year. I'm talking about Oladejo, by the way. He just started playing edge this year, and he has the same amount of career sacks this season as Shamar Stewart has in 3 years starting. So you can look at these things a multitude of ways. I'm just reporting what Adam Schefter is talking about right now. He says that I heard him say on Max Crosby's podcast yesterday as well that Carson Schwesinger is going to be a first-round pick. For everybody calling him a day 2 linebacker, he says think again. He says think again. He's probably going in the first round of the NFL draft. He specializes in sniffing out screens, finishing in open space, timing blitzes, and finishing at the point of attack. I'm not mad at it if that's the case. I'm not mad at it if that's the case. And you know what Adam Schefter does at this time of year. You know he starts to do that pick tipping shit. You know, they try not to let him tip picks on air or on X during the draft, but you know he always comes out with that coded language at this time. Washington has shown a ton of interest in Emmanuel Forbes. Washington seemed very impressed with Jaden Daniels at their meeting. He kind of like tiptoes around telling the truth. So him coming out 3 days before the draft and saying, don't be surprised if Washington or Buffalo takes Schwesinger at 29 or 30. It's something you definitely want to listen to. Like, draft season is lying season, but we're getting very close to a consensus. When you're 3 days out from the draft, guys are here. They're going off of what they're hearing, even though some of this shit is told to them as lies and to deceive. Like, dude that was on Craig Hoffman's show the other day literally said he knows a team spreading false information about James Pierce Jr. because he wants them to fall to them. The draft is very tricky. It's very Game of Thrones-esque, where there's a lot of political posturing going on, and guys want certain players to fall to them. So the latest rumor in Washington Commander land is that Carson Schwesinger is a player to look out for Washington at 29 or 30. Another thing I seen John Keim over the weekend, this one excited me a little bit. This one excited me a lot, to be perfectly honest. It was about Tayvon Henderson. Apparently, we've met with Tayvon Henderson a few times. We've been checking on running backs the entire draft process, but per John Keim, the Commanders have met with Tayvon Henderson multiple times throughout this draft cycle. Henderson would provide a home run threat to complement Jaden Daniels. I would love Tayvon Henderson. In the second round, I would be over the moon. I'm not mad if they take Tayvon Henderson with the 29th pick of this draft. Tayvon Henderson could go before 29. We could see 3 running backs go before we pick because Omarion Hampton, Ashton Jeanty, and Tayvon Henderson are like that. And Washington desperately needs something in the backfield. Running it back with the same ragtag crew of mid is not going to get it done. A difference-making running back with Jaden Daniels in a Cliff Kingsbury offense, mercy to all defenses when we get one of those in the building, and Tayvon is exactly that just under 210-pound running back. He offers more to his game than just a scat back. His frame says scat back. His physicality, the way that he pass blocks, and the way that he sees the field and is capable of running in between the tackles, shows me that is more than a scat back. This is an every down back type player. He definitely has that commander's tag type personality and leadership. Coming off a freshman year of over 1,000 yards and double-digit touchdowns, he didn't have to be a selfless guy and say, no, don't bring over Quinshon Judkins, who just ran for 1,515 plus touchdowns in the SEC. No, he said, Ryan Day, bring him over and we'll make each other better. That's the kind of guy you want in your backfield. And I promise you, we're not the only team considering Tayvon Henderson in the first round of this draft. Go ahead and think Tayvon going to be on the board at 61 and wait around if you want to. Team like Dallas, team like Denver, somebody going to snatch him smooth off that board. Someone's going to snatch him smooth off the board. Remember, we let Jahan Dotson up out of here because he lacked the physicality and the effort that these guys love to see here. Tayvon Henderson pass blocks like a prime Clinton Portis. His little ass being there banging and getting hands on people in the trenches. I think it would be. I would not be mad at the pick at all. I would be ecstatic. I might do a backflip on stream. May not go well for me. I might break my neck or something, but we're past the days of the group chat war room crashing out on draft day because we are under the control and helm of actual adults, grown-ups, business-minded and football-minded individuals. So we are trusting the process. We've met with Tayvon. We've met with a bunch of other backs, whether we take a back early, whether we take a back in the middle, or we take a back at the end of the draft. A running back will be added to this roster at some point. Just relaying the news to y'all. I'll be recording my War Room mock draft with my boys tonight. That should be out sometime tomorrow. I can't wait, man. I cannot wait for the NFL draft. We're 3 days away. Commanders, Kings. Coming your way tomorrow night, mock draft edition. Wednesday night, me and Stunner, me and Jalen Morgan. Make sure y'all sub to his channel, by the way. Full first round mock. I'll be picking the evens. He'll be picking the odds, which is Washington's pick as well. Thursday, group chat, live stream through the entire first round of the draft. Friday, Commanders, Kings. Live through all of round 2 and 3, and day 3, I'm going to be live through most of day 3 from the crib with my son as well. It's draft week, ladies and gentlemen. Suit up, get suited and booted, get your Washington gear on, and let's get ready to get better this week, baby. How we going to add on to Jaden Daniels' gear 2? Because it ain't going to be no sophomore slump around these parts. We sophomore soar around here. There will be no slump, so keep wishing on the demise of our young GOAT. It's not happening. Sit back, relax, and let these guys go to work. Let these guys chef it up in the kitchen because as a 33-year-old fan of this team, this is the first draft I've ever gone into where this team was a Super Bowl contender. I'm going to say that one more time for emphasis. This is the first draft of my entire life as a fan of this team where we're going into draft night as a contender. Now let's build on it. Let's develop some young guys, and let's get some ballers on this roster, some difference makers, some day one contributors. Lance Newmark, Adam Peters, Dan Quinn, Joe Witt Jr., the entire brain trust of the Washington Commanders. Ballers in your court. I'm going to sit back, relax, and watch y'all get it done. But until we get there, we're going to be mock drafting on the channels all week. You're going to find me everywhere doing mock drafts and talking about the NFL draft because it is officially draft week. We are 3 days away, and I am ready. How about y'all? Let me know what y'all think about this news of Washington possibly being interested in linebacker Carson Schwesinger out of UCLA and our reported interest in meeting a couple times with running back Tayvon Henderson out of Ohio State. That's all I got for right now. Hail to the Washington Commanders. Hail draft week. Talk soon.